we go. 3, 2, 1. George,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
George, how did you come into contact with my YouTube channel?
I think it just popped up. Probably something to do with Destiny. Prob actually maybe something to do with Mr. Girl.
Oh, all
I'm a
right.
Mr. Girl fan, not a Destiny fan.
Oh,
But
interesting. All right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
How
I think
familiar
it's
are you with my work?
like semi-familiar. I don't watch the. I'm not a gamer, so I don't watch Age of Empires streams. But I watch every
That's
video you
okay.
put out. I'm subscribed to you, so I
All right.
watch like the effort videos and I catch some of the streams. But yeah,
All right,
Destiny,
based. All right. Well, what is on your mind? What is your question or point of contention?
birth rates. Mr. Girl, who's still at the show, and I actually sent you an email recently. You might not have caught it, asking if you'd be willing to go on his show. He he said he
Wait,
wasn't
you.
willing to talk. Yeah,
Oh, hold on. I vaguely remember this. What did you say? Sorry. You, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Continue.
said. Well, I said. Basically, my email said he isn't willing to do. I wanted him to do a podcast with you. He said he isn't willing to do a podcast with you because I vaguely mentioned that you were somewhat of a Destiny fan, but he was like, no, if he's a Destiny fan, like that makes him an acolyte. Then I can't talk to him. I was like, okay, fella. But what was I
That's
gonna
fair.
say?
I would.
But he,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I would. First, I'm willing to talk to anyone offline. Mr. Girl's an interesting character, but it depends on what we talk about. If we're going to immediately talk about
Well,
the
I,
most controversial topics he talks about, I'd probably be less inclined to do it. But if it's just general stuff,
no, no. Well, I thought of some topics and I wrote them down in the email. It was like, well,
okay,
one of them was Destiny, although you might find that a bit boring. Another one was
I
Trump
prefer not to
because he's
gossip.
very, that's fine. One of them was Trump, which he's very anti-Trump. I don't know if you know that, but another
That's
one
novel.
is feminism and birth rates, which is what I want to talk to you about.
Okay,
Um, so he's a big feminist, blah blah. He had his hotline, which is every 2 weeks. So what I
okay.
was going to ask you is you if you wanna like ask you if you wanted to go on the hotline at some point. Maybe you're not interested at the moment, but the topic of contention is he had one caller, which was like, bro, the birth rates are declining. What the fuck are we going to do? And he was like, well, the birth rates are declining because women don't want children, and like trying to force them to have children is, or like trying to trick them to having children is not a good thing. So if you're a feminist, you should value um, extinguishing like the species dying of extinction over forcing women to have babies. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that for several reasons, but I wanted to know your take on that.
Well, I don't know. I don't think people. I don't think anyone should be forced to have babies. But I think the
Coerced.
cultural
Coerced.
norms.
Yeah, go on.
Coerce is even too strong of a word. Like we should have
Okay.
norms in society. Like, are people coerced to not cheat on their husband or wife?
No.
Okay, but we do have
Although,
norms about it.
I mean, maybe you might say so, right? You might say, oh, they are coerced because,
Yeah, we should
well,
have a society that is ordered in such a way. The norm should be you should have kids unless you have a very good reason not to. And some
yeah,
people do have very good reasons not to.
I agree with that,
Like they're
but
fucking Destiny fans or
fr-
something.
from a feminist perspective, from Mr. Girl's perspective, they just don't want kids. Like maybe we've evolved to the point where people or animals have sex not because they know it's gonna make children, it's because they just enjoy the feeling of sex. And now we've evolved to a point where we've developed technology like the pill and other contraceptives where people can have sex
Yeah.
without having kids. And you're right, I think the main reason for that is because people aren't forming relationships. But what if they just don't want to? What if we've evolved to the point where people just don't want to have, like women just don't want to have children?
I don't
And
think the evidence is bearing that out. I think overwhelmingly the evidence is that women are regretting like getting a career and then being 35 and not being able to have kids anymore, or not being able to find a person to have kids with.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
this is
I agree with that.
I don't look at the studies and the polls myself, but I see it. I see that as a cross section from people who have no incentive to seemingly skew the statistics. So I don't. I've yet to see evidence why that's wrong.
Yeah, no,
I
my,
think
my
women were
solution
lied to.
is
I think women are some of the biggest victims of the whole go girl boss, go get a job, go be. It's just like
I agree with that. On the other side, on the other hand, like if you do have kids, then Peterson talks about this, and he talks about like why men should improve themselves and improve their financial situation and all these things is you become a very vulnerable person. And if you get married as well, like if your partner isn't someone who can bear some of the load, then you're screwed if you're a mother because financially and just in terms of work, you're
Yeah,
both
100%.
taking, yeah, right.
Yes. Yeah, okay, yes, correct. And that's absolutely fair. However, what the I think one of the problems, this is especially for like middle class and upper middle class women, is like if you're like a 30-year-old woman who makes like 150,000 or $200,000 a year, it's it's the hypergamy thing of like a woman does not want to
Exactly.
be with a man who makes less money than them, even though that amount of money is plenty to stave off the problem you're talking about. And in some sense, again, women got fucked over because it's like if you're a woman, you can't change who you're attracted to. You can't change the fact that you would prefer to be with someone who's makes more money than you. And so it's like it's not like, well, okay, everyone just give away your money and I'll solve the problem. It's like that's not the solution. But it is yeah, it is complicated.
Well,
I mean,
that's why it comes back to the coercion problem or issue, which is like, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to tell these women, oh, go have sex with a man who you're not attracted with just because the species needs you to,
no, yeah, that's demented and insane. And I don't know a serious person that
right?
would push that
So
forward.
what's the
What
solution
we
then?
need to do is
Well,
change the norms. I think that first off, the kind of whatever, I don't even call it feminism because there are like depending on how you define feminist, I could be described as a feminist. But there are forms of feminism, there's forms of hyper progressivism that need to be eradicated, of like this hyper like all the world's problems are men, are male, and all like this very weird stuff. Anyway, whatever. The norms need to change, right? Basically, we all need to go back to church. All right, we should do it like the old days. We all pretend we're Christian and go have premarital sex instead of
nah.
hate
Why would
Christianity
people
and then
pretend
go
they're
have premarital
Christian?
sex anyway.
Why would people be like, okay, I agree with you with basically everything on that. I'm essentially like a Petersonian. I agree with you on a bunch of this stuff. But if I take on
Okay.
like Mr. Girl's deconstructivist hat, then I can just be like, well, no, what's the point in all becoming Christians? You might say like, oh, it's good for society, but Christianity isn't true,
Yeah, this
or
isn't a public
people
policy
just don't
thing.
believe
This
in.
isn't a public policy thing. I'm saying this is what needs to
I
happen.
know,
All of the
I know.
cool
Just
people need to go to
yeah.
church and make it cool to go to church and then
Why?
abide
Like, why
by.
would they? Why would they? They're not
Why would they
doing
go
it.
to church? I don't know. There's lots
Yeah,
of church is like a center of community, and we're lacking community, so that's a plus.
but they're choosing not to. They're choosing not to for many reasons. One of them
Who's
being
choosing not to?
people, young people.
Well, I think it's because we don't have it as a norm to go to church as
Yes.
much, but it's changing, and I think that's good if it changes.
Okay. Well,
I do have to
yeah,
move on to the next caller, but I'll give
yeah,
you a
yeah.
final point of contention or question here.
No, no, no. It was nice to meet you. And yeah, think about Mr. Girl. Like maybe you can write it, you might do it, but just think about it maybe. He has a hotline every 2 weeks. So yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. That's
cool.
fair.
All right. Thanks.
Um, Thank you for coming on, George. Appreciate it. What is going on with this thing? Okay, I don't even know. Also, I need to send a text here.